Welcome back to another Valley Sports Plug Arizona Cardinals recap for Week 18. On January 8th, 2023, your Arizona Cardinals were taking on the 49ers in San Francisco. The final result was an embarrassing 13-38 blowout. That means that this was an unimpressive 0-7 finish for the Cardinals this season, and a final record of 4-13 will give them the third pick in the 2023 NFL Draft. So, as painful as it may be, let's take a look at some of the stats from today's game and break it all down for you. David Blau would get the start for the Cardinals again, 18 attempts, 180 yards, 1 passing touchdown, and 2 interceptions. On the ground, Corey Clement would have 8 carries for 23 yards and a touchdown. AJ Green caught an impressive 77-yard touchdown in the first with his 3 receptions at 91 yards. Trey McBride would have 3 receptions and 41 yards. And on the defensive side, J.J. Watt would finish his career with 2 sacks on the day. Very emotional send-off for him. Now, for the 49ers, Brock Purdy, hot hand in San Francisco. He completed 15 passes on 20 attempts, 178 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Elijah Mitchell would have 5 carries, 55 yards, and 2 touchdowns. And, of course, Christian McCaffrey, 10 carries, 45 yards. Through the air, Christian McCaffrey would also have 3 receptions for 34 yards and a touchdown. George Kittle, 4 receptions, 29 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Now, a quick look at the play-by-play. Like I mentioned, that 77-yard A.J. Green touchdown from David Blau. Matt Prater would miss the field goal, so only giving the Cardinals the 6-0 lead to start, and that was their last lead in the game. From there, in the first quarter, Christian McCaffrey would have that 21-yard pass from Brock Purdy for the touchdown, making it 7-6. In the second, Elijah Mitchell, that 5-yard run would be 6-14 San Francisco. Corey Clement would answer with a touchdown of his own, bringing it closer 13-14. And right before the half, with 19 seconds to go, George Kittle, a sexy little toe tapper in the back of the end zone on a 4-yard touchdown pass from Brock Purdy. And it was all downhill from there, folks. In the third quarter, 2 touchdowns and a field goal from the 49ers. Elijah Mitchell would get in again. George Kittle would get in again. And Robbie Gould would have a field goal to get in the mix, bringing that final score to 13-38 for the 49ers, getting the win over the Cardinals today. Guys, I know there's not much that can be said. It's the last game of the season, our last recap of the season. But Michael Benjamin, I got to know what you think.
Guys, praise the football gods. This holy hell of a season is finally over. We don't have to even think about the way that this team is going to find a way to screw themselves out of possibilities of wins anymore. A couple things about this game. The 49ers, unlike the Cardinals the past couple seasons, they finished this year 10-0, have a whole bunch of momentum going into the playoffs, even with their third-string quarterback, Brock Purdy, Mr. Irrelevant, going out there and looking like he might be a guy for the future for them, to be honest with you. You know, what's new? Kittle torching the Cardinals. He has 5 touchdowns in the past 2 games against us. Like Chris said, that sexy little toe tap in the end. I think one big thing about that and the problems that we're still seeing overall in the grand scheme is Isaiah Simmons is struggling with one-on-one matchups, and he got torched. Let's talk about our favorite guy, David Blau. The Cardinals had 4 turnovers. I think that last one was by Trace McSorley. That ball kind of sailed a little bit over A.J. Green, but it didn't look like A.J. Green really tried for that. But those other 3 turnovers, they were by David Blau. They weren't by the Cardinals. I'm not even labeling those as Cardinals turnovers. I'm labeling those as David Blau turnovers. 2 horrible passes and him holding onto the ball way too long and getting strip sacked. Last couple of things. Let's make sure that we sign Greg Dortch this offseason and make sure that he comes back. When you go through a holy hell of a season, and guys, that really were only a few people who made plays consistently last year, and one of those guys was Greg Dortch. Bring him back, see how you can involve him next year. I'm not saying he has to be a number 2 guy, but he can be one of those guys for third downs to get your first downs, and he just contributes and he can ball. Bring him back. Let's get him back in here, see what he can do next year. And, of course, the last thing, props to J.J. Watt. Perfect send-off, 2 sacks. He even did the nice little bow after his first sack. And I think the most disappointing thing is that we sent him off into the twilight in, one of the worst seasons in the past decade for the Cardinals, but very appreciative of what he was able to do with this franchise, and one of those guys that will look fondly back on his tenure with the team. I had a lot of fun with you guys talking about this idiotic team all season and going through, each game by game. But I have to say, I am happy that it's over. I am happy that they lost today and we shored up that 3rd overall pick. So let's see what kind of weapon we can bring in here and try to, fix the pieces as we go forward.
That's all they can do, really. I mean, I agree, Mike. I share that sentiment. Good, bad, or indifferent. I've enjoyed coming in here every Sunday, Monday, or Thursday night to do these recaps with you, break down what's going on with our team. And it's not always going to be pretty, but we're going to be back here next season in 2023 and 2024 doing it again. I did want to just piggyback off a couple of those great points you made. The contrast in these two teams between the Cardinals and the 49ers, I wrote it down here. The 49ers' last loss was October 23rd. Anyway, it was in October. The end of October was their last loss. And to contrast that with the Cardinals, where their last win was November 13th against the Rams. So it's been almost 2 entire months since this team got a win, and they finished the season without one. Like you said, seven game skid. But shout out Perry High School alum Brock Purdy, Valley boy, getting it done for the 49ers. He's like their 3rd string quarterback this season, but he's building a nice resume for himself where if he doesn't stay in the 49ers, maybe he can get a starting job somewhere else. Maybe he can, elevate his career elsewhere. But we're not here to talk about Brock Purdy or the 49ers. Tallman, I want to know what you saw from the Cardinals today and your final thoughts on the season, if you'd like.
My final thoughts, it's fucking over! Woo! It's over. We don't have to worry about it anymore. My chair's over there. It's okay, though. I'm just really excited that we have that number 3 pick, and I'm so excited for tomorrow, Black Monday. Let's all pray, do a prayer right now. We're going to pray that he gets fired. He gets fucking fired. We need a new culture. We need a new head coach. We need new everything. Break it down, build it up. Let's start fresh. We need something better than what we have right now. If you run it back, I'm going to break my chair. I'm already sitting on my knees. Come on. So I'm just hoping that tomorrow we get some really good news. I hope when I wake up, I get this little notification on my phone that he's fired. But I don't know. It might be Cardinal-esque that he gets to run it back because of injuries and all this. Like what we talked about yesterday on the podcast. The game went exactly how I thought it would go. I knew we were going to get stomped. I love that first touchdown by AJ Green. Was so ugly. It was like, and I was cheering him on. I was like, hell yeah, that was awesome. So, and then we go into halftime, like so close. And I sat there, I said, this is like, so like the Cardinals, they're going to win a game that they're supposed to lose, and like, they always do shit like that, but they lost. That was good. We shored up that number 3 pick. So I don't know. It's over, guys. It's over. It is over. Let's go. I'm so interested in what's going to happen in this offseason. It's going to be such a big offseason for this franchise that it's going to make or break us going forward for the next 4 or 5 years. So let's see what happens. And tomorrow, he's going to get fired. That's all I got. I hope he fucking gets fired. That's it. I'm going to get my chair back.
Go get your chair, Tallman. I would personally be happy if Cliff got fired, but just seeing as the way things have been trending, I know my luck's not that good. So I fully expect Cliff to still be here tomorrow. Let us know in the comments if you think Cliff's going to be fired or not. By the time this video gets out, you might have your answer. You'll just have to see. But we're going to keep talking about the Cardinals, especially going through the offseason. The NFL offseason never seems to stop these days. There's a lot of free agency stuff, the draft prospects, the schedule, all that stuff's going to come out. So you got to make sure you're following Valley Sports Plug on all of our social medias, Twitter, Instagram. We've plugged it enough, so I won't bore you again. But just make sure you're following us, tuning into our podcast, and these content we're going to keep putting out for you. I know I've had a lot of fun doing this, and I think I speak for Michael Benjamin and VSP Tallman in saying that they have as well. So one last time for the 2022-2023 season, I'm Chris Patrick for Michael Benjamin and VSP Tallman. We will see you next season. Peace.